Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
I'm back and I'm mad!
Hello, good people of the internet. I'm joined once again by Jerry C.
Hola, you mental cunts.
Yes, as is tradition, we may also say you all are motherfucking stupid people, balanced doorknobs, wankers.
Have you a door or something open? Because we can see your sex swing and bondage gear hanging up behind you, which we normally can't see. Because it's just a big panel of black accoutrement
That's
framing you.
That's an IKEA closet.
Sure it is 100%. Yeah, totes. But I'm pretty sure we can't normally see your cuffs and restraints. We're both very quiet. I'm not. He might be.
So the recording levels do look genuine. Oh, no, hold on. You are a bit quiet because I had to tone down desktop audio last night. Is this better?
If anybody's wondering, Manchester City seem to have handed out quite a lot of blue and white flags to their supporters, quote unquote. If they were a real team with proper supporters, they would have brought their own.
Probably.
Just saying.
Welcome, Pete, Ralph, Hazy Boy, Crispin, Demon Sub, and I've probably forgotten somebody. Dan Lee, of course. It's Soap Dodger. Oh no, we have the vanishing Jerry again.
Thank you for the ice cream.
Ice cream?
You scream, we all scream for ice cream.
Scream! Oh, wait. Ice cream?
Yep. Oh, can't see that.
Like this? And that?
Bite bite. Could be this. It's Walls ice cream. It's filled with the finest of Austrian flavoured ice cream.
Dark Danigan, welcome.
Which means, just go into him. We know he chokes when somebody goes at him. Oh, fuck's sake. Anyway. Yeah. So, cheers by Doug Skip. Paul. Boo! Lord Sades won't be thanking you when I slap him round with some filth Austrians.
So I need to make a confession.
Yes.
I got weak.
Mm.
I tapped into 2 Kickstarters this week.
Right, but they're not like real Kickstarters, so you're allowed to.
Well, one is...
Fugu!
Yes! Indeed! And the other one is Space Dwarfs.
Which I'm going to refer to as Fugu! Because he paints most of the stuff for Fugu, for the Kickstarters. So, practically the same. Oh, fuck me, he scored already. Outrageous. Somebody needs to injure Kevin De Bruyne.
Now I have the weird urge to paint the dwarves as Fugu terrain in grey with little bird droppings and lichen and moss. Oh, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Whenever they arrive.
Yes, David.
Yeah, it's the Rocknork? Or how did he call it?
Rocknots. Who knows?
Something along those lines.
It actually wouldn't even be rock, it'd be wreck. Because it's got the over the O.
Umlaut.
Yeah, I don't know if it's called an umlaut in Scandinavian. But they have so many additional vowels, who knows? Could be called anything at all.
For me, it's
Yeah, but they're very heavily Scandinavian, not German. So it's definitely wreck.
I paid for them, they're mine. I call them what I want.
No, that's not how it goes. Did anybody look? Because I know somebody was saying, because I commented on the fact that the GW ones will be fucking massive based on the Forge War one. Did anybody look at the picture?
Yeah, I've seen the comparison photo. It's
comparison.
It's like dwarf, squat.
I thought that was, like here's a hassle-free fucking sci-fi dude or something.
Nope.
And it wasn't until you're reading who they were, and it goes Forge World Squat. I go, fuck off.
Yeah, it's.
It just looks like a human. And it's human-sized in comparison to every other 28mm fucking sci-fi dwarf.
Yeah,
what the fuck is going on there?
I can show you the picture.
My trousers are on the floor. Came up the other day, Dutch.
So there's your comparison.
There we go. Look at him. Dwarf, 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 human. No fucking dwarf. For fuck's sake. Christ on a bike.
It's a bit big, I'd say.
Fucking enormous.
But just look at these little buggers. Aren't they gorgeous? Rugnauts.
They're literally head and shoulders above them. Head and shoulders, torso, belly button. That dwarf could rest his pint on the other dwarf's heads. I'd say, while you're down there, lad.
So somebody asked the questions, how do they move? They don't have no knees.
Their knees are directly under their backside.
We just,
they don't have any thighs. It goes top of their legs, knees, calves, feet.
It's like with penguins. You don't see the knees, but they're there.
They're there, yeah. They're just very high up. That's what I heard the other day. Penguins are called something like business birds in a language. I can't remember what one it is, but because they look like, you know, regular birds in suits. That's what it translates as, business bird.
Business bird. I like that, business bird.
I can't remember what language it is. It's fucking classic. Anyway.
Yeah, Curious and his nice Fugu dwarves.
Ooh.
So what's today the first project we're going to slaughter?
I thought we'd kick things off with a touch of the old ultraviolets. And the sub of demons aiming to paint the entire slaying range in, I think, about 4 hours.
As fast as the paint is drying.
Yeah.
There's the link just in case people forgot. Or is your Twitch not acting?
I don't know. Can you see my link 3 above yours?
No.
Right. I have no fucking idea. I don't know.
Chat, can you see the link from Jerry? Because I sure can't.
It goes my link, orange, clockwork, your link. Weird.
Yeah. If Panzer can see it, I can't. Twitch, what you doing?
I just assumed you'd blocked me. Oh well.
So then I would have gotten a notification.
Maybe it's a feature.
Yeah. Oh. Well, otherwise people have the Twitch link, the link now. Starter mini box. Yeah. He's a machine, isn't he?
Oh fuck yeah! I mean, there's not a huge amount in the starter box. Let's face it, but hammered them out at a rate of knots. If memory serves, they were all contrasty. I believe Demon's in there just to tell us anyway. This is the problem. There's 2 or 3 slaying projects in this week, and I know somebody was using contrast for theirs. I fucking can't remember who. So they're all starting to blur after a while.
Yeah, I could see that happening, especially if they all have the same painting style. There's a battle report in this.
Painted the normal way, the correct way, you mean? There's a battle report in it, and that in no way influenced me whatsoever. And 100% it fucking did.
This one guy, where is it again?
That's who it was. But yeah,
this dude, when I first saw that miniature, I thought to myself, is this the front or the back?
It's like Cousin Ip. That's the front. You can tell by his musky man meat.
And having your arms that way, if it's your back, is probably a bit painful.
You know, it wouldn't be great. Let's put it like that. It would not be great.
No, not really. Good point, Dutch. Round bases, is this... are they... they're cast?
They're supplied with them, yeah.
Oh, okay.
They're cast on puddle bases and then supplied. Because Warlord only have one type of base. And it's round. Anytime they need to go beyond that, they have to go to Renedra and get some squares off them from something else. I don't even know if they supply squares for anything else.
And I
The
think
Napoleonics maybe have got rectangles.
and
It's
I
very
think
weird.
we've established that for a skirmisher we can allow it on round
Yeah.
basis occasionally.
We'll enjoy it, but we wouldn't allow it. What's next on the horizon then after these delectable things then, Demon?
Is there an expansion box already planned for Slain?
Oh, he's already got loads. That he's just painted the core box, the shit that came with it, plus the Slaying the King.
Oh, so this is what's now painted is not the complete set of boxes we see here. Oh no, now I see.
No. Huh. Look at me. I can get in there.
Being all illuminated.
I am. I'm like one of those people. What lights up like a force ghost, or a spirit, or a hamster, some shit.
Earth Tribe box or Skull Sword box? Well, that's...
Ooh. I would say Skull Swords. No harm, but they fucking need it. Have you got your head around the... it's not sun, moon, cosmic balance. Isn't that how it's actually referred to? Even though it all refers to sun and moon on the fucking things, which just baffles me. Just pick one. Can't. A sparkly vampire from Twiglet. Oh, God. Not saying they're shit vampires, but it took Robert Pattinson like a decade to turn into a bat. Aha! Classic.
What's next then?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, if you get one that works for the cards you have, you don't want to change it anyway. And the one time I think we tried to change it, Fluff the Rules, so it didn't change, and it takes an action to try and force it to change. So it can play a massive part in the game, though, where some cards don't work, where some cards only work if they're active abilities rather than passive and stuff. So it's a bit head melting. I still think we did it the right way and just ignored it for the first two games. And it's one to add in once you've got up to speed with the blood points and all the rest, because even blood points are forgetting to fucking draw those sometimes. So yeah, I really like what you've done.
Complicated.
It's the system itself is relatively simple. So simple, in fact, that I almost believe that they added the complications in to make it appear not ridiculously simple. It's like, oh, this is too simple. We better put something in here so people feel they're getting their money's worth. I just feel that, because the blood points are fine. The cards is all interesting. The cosmic alignment / balance is annoying as fuck. So, fuck me, 2-0 for City. You killing me? I mean, we all suspected that it was going to be a Liverpool City final. But fuck me, Madrid, make a go of it at least. But yeah, I really like what you've done. I've not even started mine yet.
Yes,
Annoyingly, the stuff that Gaz brought over for us to play with was all painted by Charlie, like the night before type of thing. I was like, I have to bring these back for Charlie. So, okay. Grand. Yes, I'll add that to my painting list of stuff that needs to be done.
So what's our next project to rant about?
Next, we're sticking with miniatures of unusual material, and seeing what Lorna's been up to.
Dreading Dreadball, cleaning the springs.
All of that. So some unusual bits and pieces in there.
What's that weird plant? Or is it a plant?
It is. It's a plant monster thing. That is one of the all-stars from the Dreadball Extreme expansion.
Why am I thinking of Linus calling for the Great Pumpkin?
That would work. I would have also accepted Feed Me Seymour, Feed Me. And if push comes to shove, I am Groot.
Feed me, Seymour.
Yep. So some star players which confuse and baffle me because I don't recognize some of them, but I know I own them all. I should just need to get back into that collection at some stage to see what's going on.
How can you know them all if you don't?
No, I own them all.
Oh, you own them all.
Oh, yeah. The only thing I don't own for Dreadball / Dreadball Extreme / Dreadball Ultimate is the Hobgoblin team because I've never got round to it. You know. Anyway, I'll get there eventually. There is the unexpected cake around Easter, just when they were getting into painting up some giant Nameless Spawn and Spider Monsters, which are good for both Dreadball and Maximum Overdrive, or whatever the other game's called, where you just punch each other. It's a marble cake. It's a cake like marble. It's marble cake.
Not as hard, luckily.
No, not as hard, because he hasn't spat his teeth all over the plate.
Oh, for a second I thought the guy in the middle was holding a squirrel, but it's just some weird...
Yeah, not enough squirrels out there. If it does help people, though, I have found somebody doing squirrels. So I have ordered a fuckload of squirrels to make a woodland critter base for my Forces of Nature army for Kings of War.
Why am I not surprised?
I have no idea. The yin to my yang, the balance to the force, is I also have a load of otters to use for my Trident Realm swarm base as well. So I have otter against squirrel action.
You're starting to sound a bit like Ben. You have
Kick.
halflings on bunnies,
Yes.
otters.
Yeah, why not? The otters come on the sprue. That's an official Mantic model. Thank you very much. Cake is a made-up drug. Soup. I learned that from Bernard Manning.
Why is it made up? It's delicious.
It's made up of chemicals.
Well, technically everything is made up of chemicals.
Yes. Look at him. Look at his sharky goodness. Well done, Madrid.
That's so much stuff. How can you keep track of all this?
Well, we've already discovered that I don't. Things just go in and then, disappear. In this case, I feel like it all came out of a box.
It must be a big box.
Yeah, most of them are 28mm figures. They're not real size giant shark men.
Yeah, but the sheer amount of miniatures is
baffling. Yeah, it's bigly. It's huge. I like the rundown of teams that are being finished. I also quite like the fact that it's got the threat hex marked on the front, so you can see where the front is. I would do all three, but that's just me, because I already have. Just saying.
What do you mean? All three on the front side?
Yes. If you have a threat, and if people move into that or move out of that, they can be punched repeatedly. So it's, just go ahead and mark all of them. Just mark them all. Why just mark the middle one? Laziness. Master Reserve. Yeah, well,
Maybe he likes the look.
Yeah, maybe he does. If only there was some way we could reach out and ask him. But alas, there's no way to communicate with people over the internet.
No.
It's one problem with the internet, I've noticed.
Yeah, people just don't communicate over the internet. It's a shame. If only someone would invent some kind of thing.
The fuck do you get a corner for that?
So why does your TV warn you about cake?
Why does it?
And more importantly, why do you listen to your television?
We've already discussed this, because cake is a made-up drug. It's made up of chemicals.
So is the television.
Bernard Manning explained this all. I don't know why you don't listen to Bernard Manning. He is both wise and large.
Know who he is.
He's a lot like Donald Trump, but spends a lot more time sitting around his Y-fronts. Just saying he is. That's how it goes. Shh.
Now, Ralph, don't use rude words in chat.
Yeah.
Oh, you use all the words you like. I'll just
Fusk the musk.
block. Fling. So, after we've indulged ourselves on so much delicious painted miniatures and cake, what's next? More cake?
What's read about a man who, after consuming cake, tried to eat his own head? To say. Next is terrain for the 2000 AD.
What?
Oh no, you're right. It's cows. I've got the wrong one. Wouldn't worry. People can't see my things anyway, can they?
Oh, currently we can.
Can you?
Yes.
You couldn't before.
Yeah. Don't ask me why. It's the internet. Things do work sometimes. And
it's that one. Want to do that one first? Do the no cows here. Here be dragons.
Dragoons. Again. Tiny blue dragons.
Well, if you have the opportunity to run units of dragons, then run units of dragons.
Shouldn't they be flying?
Well, they've just landed. They don't fly all the time. It's like asking somebody just to keep running.
Yeah.
Shouldn't you be running while you're sitting down, Tim?
Keep running. Go ahead. It's like that one book from the guy who made The Shining. Death March.
All right. I was going to say Christine.
No, isn't there somebody running in Christine? I thought they were all driving cars.
Well, people being run over by cars were running.
Yeah, but they stopped running, and that's why they died. And the Death March, they just keep
goes to show you
going, and then they drop dead.
Congratulations, Real Madrid managed to defend a corner. The Running Man, that's true. Yeah. Again, written by
Bachmann, Richard Bachmann.
Correct, Stephen King. Yeah.
Running Man being the what you call it? The book that's based on the horrible Arnold Schwarzenegger movie later on. So I like the ending.
Yes, your tenses are wrong, but yes, I'm with you on that.
I like the ending of the book way more than the movie.
I like to view them as two totally different things because I absolutely love The Running Man. I think it's one of Arnie's best. It's fantastic. I like the fact that they've got the little zones and all the rest.
It's
colourful. No fucking resemblance to the book.
No. The show that he's participating in is the only connecting factor, and the name. Yeah. Well, that's it. Everything else is completely different.
There was a TV show in the UK that was based on the Running Man book at one stage, and it was quite good. Where essentially they just sent people out into the wild, and they had to check in during the show or like a live show. From like they had to call in from a public phone box, that type of thing. But the rest of the time they were just trying to stay off the grid while the public were encouraged to try and find them. And it was great because it was literally the Running Man. These people are fucking fleeing and have to make specific check-ins. Otherwise, so they couldn't just go up and fucking sit in a cave in the middle of the valleys and just wait for the clock to run down and claim their money. It was a great show.
Sounds horrible.
Hunted, that was it. Grim. It's been so long since I've seen it, but it was class. It was really good.
Maybe we need more shows like that again.
I think so. They do something terrible these days with like dogs and stuff and children, and they make them run down like a 200 meters. Dogs chasing them. It's very dull. But yeah, a little
Night Runners.
Company of Dragons.
Yeah. 3, is that a specific number for that gaming system? Was this just
well, it's a crusade. It's a crusade of dragons. You've often heard of like a flight of dragons. Flight of dragons.
Now I imagine crusade of dragons in Jerusalem fighting on the thingamajig.
Oh yeah, fighting on the walls of Jerusalem.
Yes.
That's how they kept Saladin out.
Oh, Cook. Look who came in. The to be dead.
Yeah.
Hello, Irish Steve.
The best part about it is Sorry.
Trainer.
No, I'm just watching football. Best part about it was the theme song, which just seems so out of place for the rest of the film. Flight of Dragons was awesome.
Oh, Takeshi's Castle is coming back?
I've heard about it. It's one of those things where some Japanese man gets his ball sack whipped for 20 minutes or something. It's very they're just a decadent race.
I love the original Takeshi's Castle. It was hilarious.
Never seen it.
Oh, that it would have been a show for you.
I've seen the memes. It just looked like It's a Knockout.
Yeah, more or less.
But without members of the royal family and a child molester. Well, actually, well, considering what we've learned about Philip, maybe that's where it all kicked off. It's a celebrity special. Oh
God.
That'd be hilarious. Somebody needs to do the research on that. Anyway.
Well, next
Here,
up...
did you see Marco's doing another fucking thing in Dublin, Steve? He announced it the day after my fucking fridge freezer died in its arse, and I just had to drop 400 quid to fucking replace it. I was just like, you gas cunt.
So he's doing a...
Oh, goal! No, punched off. Oh, you jabby bastards.
So Marco's doing a live thing and you can't attend because you paid your fridge.
Yep.
Oh, that sucks.
Yep, I thought so. There's Rumbly.
Hello, Rumbly. I still blame you for everything that's happening to me since that one time you mentioned Fantasy World delivering bot wars. Cunt. Next project, Terrain 2000 AD. Danzian. Give us a link.
The link's up. People just need to scroll back up and see where I put the link in the wrong place earlier before the dragons. No, you're going to make me do this. Oh, fuck all of you.
No, so I'm doing it. That was quicker.
It's only because I can't be arsed pressing enter. It's so far away. Requires me leaning.
So Danzian is doing Terrain. This looks oddly familiar, but I can't put my finger on.
Right, that's what they would call like an overpass or slip road, which is part of his 2000 AD Judge Dredd styley stuff. You can be standing waiting for your bus in Mega City 1. It's never going to come. And then, oh my God, more Slain. Slanya.
Even more, so...
Oh, you mad bastard, Steve. I'm going to have to pull my finger out. I'm about to hit the point where my third provisional license is going to expire. Because it's like 10 years on those. That's not enough time for me to fucking sober up. But, probably going to have to do that.
What is it with you middle-aged men not having a driver's license?
Ireland's very small. Very small.
Oh, so, yeah. I guess that's a point.
And I used to live in Belfast. And it was faster for me to walk to work than it would be to take a car or a bus even. Because they just sat in traffic for 30 to 40 minutes trying to get down to Ormo.
Yeah, that's...
It's like a dandruin in 10.
That's the same here when you're driving to work at the wrong hours. It's a horrible thing.
Ah, yeah. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, if somebody went, you can have a license or you have to, sober up and take a test, or just keep drinking and get a taxi when you need to get a taxi. Let's go, fuck, get a taxi. Anyway.
Also, that keeps the taxi driver employed, so you're doing...
That's true. It keeps money in circulation.
Yes.
Which is very important.
Additionally,
if
you were driving a car, you couldn't drink as much, so you're keeping your bartender in business also.
Oh, don't worry. They'll be in business.
These trees, are they from Slania also, or there's something else?
No. Those are, they look like GW's plastic horror trees. They're not called plastic horror trees, but that's what they are. You can tell they've got the big, thick fuck-off bases on them. The standing stone.
That's from the core set.
Yeah. Is that. But again, nice to see in amongst the 2000 AD train a few figures creeping in there as well.
So here we see still grey plastic on April 22nd.
Yes.
2 days.
Yeah, but I don't think he's painted as much as Damon has. I also think Damon's probably taller.
Which is the usual final measurement for anything.
Yeah, that's what I always use, to be brutally honest. Yes, that's COcast. So, interesting thing, apparently they've been experimenting with a harder plastic, which the Chronopia guys are going to be getting their stuff cast in. So I'll be fascinated to see what that's like when it arrives.
The one guy
Mantic.
on YouTube said it would behave more like your classic plastic sprue.
Yeah, but I mean that's nothing particularly weird because I think COcast have been using different blends of plastics for different companies from the get-go. So, yeah, Dead Trees, Mantic do a nice set in their terrain crate. The horror. In fact, I think there's a box of them down there under quite a lot of other
Under
shit.
boxes. As you have alluded to on the weekend on your...
You know,
I
pulled back the curtain so people could see what was behind it.
I still imagine you having your the Tetris soundtrack on loop when getting something from the closet.
It gets up there. To be brutally honest, I rarely, if ever, it gets opened once every 3 or 4 months when I really need something or when I'm looking for something because it's such a pain in the arse. Yeah, I think they're going back to Rogue Trooper for the next one. I don't know if I heard it completely right. I don't know if Rebellion... I think Rebellion may have bought a share in Warlord, if not bought Warlord outright. So I don't think Warlord are licensing the 2000 AD stuff. I think Rebellion are going, we own you, put some fucking games out for our stuff. I must go and have a wee dig around and see if that's true or not. But that was the impression I was getting from some of the things Gaz was saying. ABC Warriors would be fucking amazing.
It could be interesting things.
Joe Pineapple right up there. Everybody loves Joe, but the old roll jaws.
So after the second slime project, what's next?
Neck is next. Oh, Nemesis, yeah. Nemesis and Torquemada. There's just so much shit to throw in there.
Oh, so he's done more dystopian wars.
He has 2 new fleets since we were here last, I believe. The Empire and the Rushans, whatever they're called. I can't remember what they're called. They have a name in dystopian wars that isn't Russian.
Murmansk Battle Fleet.
Well, yeah. I really like the massive floating Fort Boyard thing.
Yeah.
With Leslie Grantham.
I think if you would take that kit and add a bit of plastica to it, it would look like the what's it called again?
Trade Federation droid control ship.
No, the on Dark Side of the Moon, Hitler's moon base.
Oh, Hitler's moon base from Iron Sky.
Iron Sky. Was it Götterdämmerung?
Yeah.
Well, it looks similar to the Götterdämmerung.
That is true. It'd be very good for Billion Suns.
Yeah, as a capital ship.
I'd like to take this moment to congratulate Real Madrid for not conceding any more goals in the last 15 minutes. Well done, them.
Do we need to take a minute of silence now for them?
No, not really. I mean, yeah, the important game's tomorrow. I don't really care who wins tonight. It doesn't really bother me either way. But if people are not aware of British Legion, he is in House of Water, best house. He's also almost impossible to tag because he uses a very angular font, which doesn't count as a B. If you go at British Legion, you won't get him. You've got to find him, cut and paste the British Legion in that heavy Gothic script.
Yeah, I wonder why Discord allows that.
Hey, you know, it's one of those things, I suppose. But Nick's a fucking absolute gent and fires stuff out at a rate of knots, a rate at which would put Panzer to shame.
That's a mark.
It really is. because you'll often get like, I've just got this. It's Monday morning, and he'll be sitting in work, and he'll just be firing out fucking miniatures while he's waiting on customers. And if it's not a busy day, he'll get through a hell of a lot. And if it is a busy day, he still gets through quite a bit. You know.
Yeah, has it ups and downs to work in such a store?
Yeah. But in this case, it does mean he's productive.
Yeah, and he's got a goal. He can show people the games he's selling. So I'm guessing that's that.
I don't know how much he actually sells. Most of the stuff in the store is like hobby and railway and you know, proper modeling. I know there is, I think, a small amount of miniature stuff, but I think it's mostly real scale modeling. Could be wrong. He may have diversified.
Maybe tabletop miniature gaming is something he sells under the table.
I think it's mostly just stuff he does on the table while he's waiting on old men to come in to pick up rolling stock, that sort of thing. But we can find out.
If only there was a way to communicate.
Again, you know, once again, alas, none of that. These shitballs. There's Patrick.
What would be the next project then?
The next project would be something else, but I'm not looking at the project system at the moment. Opening links from Nick's YouTube channel. The next project would be Night Runner, who's hungry like a wolf.
Hola.
Now, he says this is a short post proving that TSB is not dead. I immediately default to the bank because that's the TSB, I know. But after some staring at it for a while, I realized he'd abbreviated the Silver Bayonet and had nothing to do with the bank TSB. So that's something.
Why would he need to say that it's not dead? It's still a rather new game, isn't it?
Yeah, it may just be because there was a little bit of a flurry of activity and then a slowdown before updates. You know, almost a month had gone by, type of thing.
Oh, that's nothing compared to other people's projects.
It is very orange and indeed cutting matte. Yeah, lovely bases, lovely objectives. Some interesting stuff there. I quite like his tarping. I have something else to use as tarping. There may not be a jerry can on it.
Never actually tried myself on this. I always wanted, but I never found something to put it on.
Yeah, congratulations, Madrid there, 2-1.
Mountains of Skulls.
Mountains of Skulls. How high is this mountain? Skulls don't pile up particularly well. Just checking.
4 layers. That's okay.
Rivers of blood. It's the traditional way.
Also, the card is metal. That's interesting. Everything else seems to be resin or plastic.
You know, I presumably got it from somewhere proper, not one of those 3D printed things.
Bless you.
And I'm allergic to 3D printing.
Yeah, speaking of being allergic, it's that time of the year again. I'm already taking my meds.
Oh dear, that's terrible.
Yeah.
My brother used to suffer from that. Probably still does, but I don't care enough to ask. I used to wake up in the morning and then give him dog's abuse because he'd wake up and like one of his eyes would be stuck shut. With gunk. It's just like, open your eye, and they just start sneezing all the time. It's like, what have I told you about sneezing all the time? It annoys me. Stop it.
Yeah, I think we've been there before. I think last year.
It does annoy me.
I can get that. It annoys me as well.
Yeah. But you don't have to listen to it. We all have to listen to it. You sneezy bastards. But yeah, pack of black wolves for setting on people. And a frog with wings.
Interesting, weird monsters.
Yeah. I mean, if you're going to put together a range of summonable beast and wandering fox, you may as well diversify into some really weird shit. You know, stuff that isn't going to make it to the tabletop otherwise. There's even a Captain Kronos there, which by the way is on Amazon currently. If anybody wants to watch Captain Kronos.
Oh god!
Just saying.
I like
good film.
that the troll is actually swinging a wheel.
Yeah, that's how the magic happens. You just wing it on in there.
Those look familiar.
Is it because they're lined up to do Thriller video? Boom, boom, boom.
No,
Captain Kronos is great.
Somehow they remind me of the 60s movie Time Machine.
Like the Morlocks, yeah. I'd have to see them painted to be able to say yay or nay on that. But they're a bit too undead. I see where you're going. There is a range of Morlocks from Antediluvian.
I need to rewatch that movie at some point in the near future.
Look, he's got the heresy zombies. Ghouls. I like them eating the baby. It's my favourite.
Still waiting for mine.
Glue from babies or glue made from babies. Could go either way. It has to be better than boiled slugs. Let's put it like that. I've ordered too many. I ordered quite a lot on that Kickstarter just to try and, ramp it all up there. So apart from the ghouls, there's like quite a lot of the maggot men because I feel like they'd make really nice bloodworms.
Yeah, I can see that.
So
there are currently too many outstanding Kickstarters waiting to be delivered. And all. Do
you know thumbs? Do you not hold that ball? See, fucking keepers punching all the time. That bugs me. Lich Jesus won't like that. You're right. But what can you do?
Oh, teeny werewolf.
It might not be teeny.
No, this looks like American Werewolf.
That looks like the classic Wolfman, Lon Chaney. Because he doesn't have the full snout, he's just got the little flat nose.
Stood rowing.
The classic Universal. And it probably is. I like that. It's almost like the evolution of man. If you just turn them all sideways, starting with little Lon Chaney and working his way up. The evolution of werewolf.
He seems to have a few of those in progressional miniatures in his project.
I like it.
Yeah.
And who knew the collective noun of ghouls was a grotesque? I certainly didn't. Not to be confused with the flange of gorillas. Flange.
Don't tell the ape.
Flange. Was he angry when you brought him out of Africa? Angry? I was livid. Corlocks. Oh, they're from Lucid Eyes, so it'll be from the Savage World range. Savage World have really nice ape men, and I don't have a reason to own really nice ape men. I might have to start playing Savage World.
But
just because, for reasons.
Judging by the name Corlocks, I'm guessing those were heavily inspired.
Yeah, inspired by, yeah. I still think the Antediluvian ones look more like the Morlocks.
But to be fair, if you look too closely in the movie, you see just a couple of hunched over big dudes with long wigs.
Yeah, well, to each their own. Whatever floats your boat, baby.
What was the other? Eloy, the Eloy.
Yeah.
Orlocks and Eloy.
The future. 'Twas a ship place.
Yeah, what struck me the most when I first saw that movie as a kid was the fast-forwarding scene when he races through time.
Just watching the shop opposite.
Yeah.
That was fucking amazing.
Her being
that was so good.
Her being dressed in multiple ways, and all of a sudden, everything's gone. all gone.
Ah, well. They all knew the risks of nuclear war, as we're about to learn ourselves.
Stay tuned. Will there be a next episode of the Unofficial Hobby Hangout? Who knows?
Well, Russian foreign minister knows. But I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him, the long-faced fuck. Do you know there was a remake of The Time Machine with Guy Pearce?
There was a horrible, horrible remake.
I haven't seen it.
Oh, don't. Just don't.
But
It's
what I imagine is he's playing the same character as the character from Memento, who just doesn't remember anything, and he watches the time machine and then immediately superposes that's him, and then murders some people because he doesn't know what the fuck's going on. Spoilers for Memento, by the way.
nobody's here for spoilers. So what's next on the table?
For me, quite a lot of peacekeepers and enforcers.
And for the folks at home?
Oh, not that. None of that. But some of this. Bump.
Bump, he says. So, Enyal, how do you pronounce that?
I don't. Well done, me, for not pronouncing that. Because that would be fucking
It says it's related to...
I just speak Greek, mate. So I don't care what it's related to.
Steve is challenging you to a game of Moonstone.
Oh, fuck yeah. Not ahead. It'll be something very bunny-based. Probably, or not. I don't know. Moonstone Boot Camp. All of us, including Richmond from the IT crowd, we all want to do it. I don't think it'll happen this year. It might happen later on in the year. Things seem to be sort of getting a bit closer to it. Wow, you've got Moonstone.
Still haven't read it.
Right. But that's so small. There's so little to read in it.
Yeah.
You put it under your pillow and fucking fall asleep. You'll just ingest it overnight.
If that would work. If that
does
would
work. This works.
I would be so happy.
100% that works.
So, what does Draco do with Enchalios Toxotai?
So, despite the fact he said that he was working on some Saga, and occasionally he'll hit things that could be played with Saga, a lot of the stuff in here has mostly been for his DBX games.
Again, lies.
Deception.
I need to make that a button.
Report. Save the dream. Full Forrest Whitaker eye. But, yeah, there are a couple of updates, including multiple battle reports. Fuck yeah. He does discuss, I should probably put a comment in to this effect, he does discuss the problem with DBX, which is you roll for pips, and his opponent rolled a 1 for his pips the first round. So more or less, you fuck yourself. You're doing nothing. You're going to take a massive shit kicking because you've got 1 pip to work with, which is why God invented average dice. And if you're going to play a DBX style system where you roll for your activations or your pips, use average dice. Because even if you get the highest and your opponent gets the lowest, it's only like a 3-point swing as opposed to that fucking 4-point swing on a D6, which is just killer. Absolute fucking killer.
The gaming mat looks a bit small to my eye, or is it really a game that's played on such a small scale?
It depends. That's full scale for DBX. Because you play with 12 elements. If you play Grand, then you double your element size and you can go to a larger thing. But everything's moving like very, very small amounts. Like an activation and a movement could be maybe like, it's a base width generally. So if you're 40 mil base and you're only going to move like 1 or 2 base widths at a time, you don't need to be playing on a big map. So a 2-foot square gives you all the room to maneuver and more because you've only got like 12 little stands.
And I really hope these are transfers. If this is freehand, I'm going to kill myself.
Yeah, you should probably kill yourself.
Yeah, I will at some point.
Yeah.
But not
They're
today.
not, they are transfers, but you know, just go ahead and do it anyway. Do it. I love you more than Jesus.
You and your lovely movie references that nobody gets. At least I never get them. Almost.
Great movie. It's the best adaptation of Satan you will come across. Aragon plays Satan.
You mean Viggo Mortensen?
Sure, if that's what he wants to tell people he is. Then sure.
The dude that broke his toe while kicking a helmet.
Yeah, that part of Lord of the Rings. Kicked the helmet, broke his toe.
Did I tell you Viggo Mortensen broke his toe while doing Lord of the Rings?
Oh, Clerks 2. I was referring to that yesterday, Soap, when I was discussing. Actually, maybe it was Grim discussing
Star Wars?
Ashoka.
Ahsoka Tano.
Yeah, and the fact she's played by whatever her name is. Fuck me. I do know her name, but it's Rosario Dawson.
I'm so happy that I'm not the only one not getting along with names.
Oh yeah, all I want is for Ahsoka just to go. It's okay to go ass to mouth. Just cut the audio from Clerks.
I think
just put it over.
It would be a hard time to get that into a Star Wars series.
It really wouldn't. Just just the next time she's talking to Din Djarin, and like, you know, it's one of those ones where they're both looking up the hill towards like Baby Yoda, floating rocks, and you just put that, you know,
the audio file from
in the heat of passion. It's okay to go ass to mouth, and then you just get Din Djarin, you just get the head turn to look at her. I think it'll work really well. Good way to open your show next week. Go ahead and do that.
Oh, God. You know, you're planting seeds of very different videos I could create into my head, and that's
100%.
That's not good. That's not. It's totally not healthy.
There's also in the first bit there is a couple of links to the 2004 film par excellence Alexander, which I believe we have referred to in the past, but it does have the Battle of Gaugamela in it, which presumably will be an upcoming battle report, because that would be awesome up there.
Oh no.
So yeah,
we don't get it. Oh.
It's because you're foreign.
Copyrighted infringement.
Oh, not the Fug bars. The Fug bars are the worst when they're veered.
Can't really complain.
I need to watch Clerks 2 again.
What's the next project then?
I'm sorry, Jesus.
Weak.
Necrothal. In the words of Sir Vincent of Jones, I'm the Juggernaut, bitch. Which I believe is how he demands to be referred.
Every time I see this one, I can't stop thinking about the weird guy from He-Man. What was he called again?
Ram Man. The
Man.
shittest of toys.
Zero articulation, but you could throw him like a rock.
Yeah, well, yeah. He was just a fucking brick. A terrible, terrible brick.
Didn't his head pop out a bit? After you smashed
No,
it?
you
crushed it.
We told what? Who the fuck was I talking to this about?
I think
on
the Weekender. I think
it may have been on the Weekender. You pressed him down and he popped up. So there was essentially just a massive spring inside him. So the upper body was just a hard plastic shell, just to allow him to be depressed and then big up. But let's get back to Vinnie Jones and his Juggernaut. Look at him. Look at the size of that fucker. He's enormous.
Metallic constructs. God. Are these playable, or is this just terrain?
Yes. No. They are summonable by Magneto.
Ah, okay.
And then he can wing them at people's heads and then summon more. Or then wing them at people's heads or bounce his powers off them and shit. It's good.
Should have thought about a Magneto. Oh.
All I can think of now is Jeff Woad. Look at the size of this fucker. I bet he's got testicles the size of grapes. Jeff Woad.
Do I spot mold lines with this?
No, they're just seams from the multiple parts. I imagine that came in. I'm going to pull your head off. Because I don't like you. Please don't pull my head off. I'm going to pull your head off. So I'm Jeff Woad.
You seem to have too much time on your hand if you can memorize all the movies.
Oh no, Wethany and I is just an amazing movie. You've got to watch it, and then you rewatch it. It's worth it it's like Harry Potter's dad going, I must have him. I will have him by buggery if I needs. It's great. I much prefer the carrot to geranium.
Oh, that's not nice.
Ah. But true.
So he's not very happy with the Cargill.
The way I always remember him, Soup, is Uncle Monty, the cop turned cook in some TV cop show where he'd spent a lot of time making lobsters. And then he was Harry Potter's dad or something. His head must weigh pounds on its own.
Unless it's filled with gas.
No, not Jeff Woods. Jeff Woods' head wouldn't be filled with gas.
What makes you so sure about that?
Because he's a massive bastard.
Yeah.
Ba-la-la-la-la.
One thing that annoys me a bit about Marvel Crisis Protocol is that people tend to stick with the comic reference for painting schemes, and I'm at that point where I can't really differentiate who painted what, where, when. It starts to blur. And I guess if you're playing competitive with this game,
the alternative is everybody ends up going for 1990s X-Men, where everybody's just in black, and it'd be very dull.
That's true. But I imagine it having a tournament with a best painted army section would be very hard to choose.
No, you know, if you think about it, if everybody's painting the same color scheme, you know, all your Scarlet Witches are Scarlet Witches, at that point then it is very easy to go, that's better painted than that. Whereas whenever you've got a painting competition that's just free range and you've got lots of people painting different miniatures and painting their own unique styles and stuff on it, a lot can be lost or missed. You know, if a certain model is painted in a certain way by one person and then you don't see anybody else painting that model, or you know, it's difficult to tell the skill levels apart. Whereas if you see 15 Scarlet Witches in a row and somebody's done non-metallic metal and somebody else done really nice skin, and somebody else just chucked contrast on them and walked away, you know. I seen somebody had done Mystique recently. That Mystique, I don't know if they've done another Mystique yet from Marvel actually, but they'd painted her in her comic book blue, but then they'd done like a fuzzy line, and then below that it was normal skin tone, and like she was wearing a long red glove and like a red bottom of red leather.
The transitional thing like you would see in the midst of the fact from the movie, where she goes from blue to hiding into something. Yeah,
which I thought was a really nice touch, and if I could be arsed, I would do something like that. Can't be arsed. Not doing it.
Yeah, Ralph, I've seen that the Atomic Mass Games is painting them in various colors, but I think it's one. Seemingly the community doesn't care for what Atomic Mass Games is doing.
Nobody's entirely certain that Atomic Mass Games is actually doing anything to do with their games anyway. They just sit quietly in the background. Fucking Atomic Mass Games.
So let's go to the next project then.
Technically they do something with Star Wars, but we'll never know.
Next one is called Bob.
Bob. It's the long form version of Kate, as we all know.
Also, it's a planet.
Bob. So, in this case, more battle tech.
It's astounding how much battle tech this one man has.
Well,
He seems to have every
don't worry.
miniature under the sun and then some.
It's not just Battletech, though, let's face it. I've already got a full Mando army like a field. Grim. It's whether or not they actually supply it ever. Ooh. I can do it already. Other people may have to wait to see whether or not they deem us worthy of getting a supply of the Mandalorians.
Yeah, feels a bit odd. You would think a small plastic toy would be easily to produce.
No. Or they may be, in a similar situation to Games Workshop where the plastic part is the easiest part, and it's the card bits that have to be done by another printer somewhere else, and then putting all the components together is what's shitting them up. Especially now that they're no longer being done by the cardboard propagators, Fantasy Flight Games, who I'm not sure if they're actually a board game company, but I do know they really hate trees. Really fucking hate them.
So I had been looking at this project before. I didn't notice this little detail here on this.
The Enterprise.
NCC 70. Grand.
On the saucer section at the front. Yeah, right,
Oh.
What can I say?
All the elementals.
Fish by hooks. Look at them. Look at them.
It's just a stunning display of power.
I wouldn't be able to say who is what. They're all listed in there, Grim. And Steve, I know Taurus was kicking around in the chat earlier. He would almost certainly know.
The thing is, Bob has some very interesting variants of mechs in here that aren't really as models somewhere to get. So ghastly 3D printed stuff.
Speaking of which,
Battletech or ghastly 3D printed stuff?
both.
Okay.
John was saying today that Catalyst Games have announced that they're going to have another Kickstarter this year to add like 50 more mechs.
They have announced a metric shit ton of stuff they're going to do, and Kickstarter is one item on the bucket list.
Yeah, but let's face it, if you want the stuff, you have to back the Kickstarter, because we've seen their Fantasy Flight Games / Atomic Mass Games level of shit when it comes to supplying.
The funny thing is, in their letter they wrote that with, I think they said something along the lines of 40,000 units sold, and I'm guessing that's the core box.
Sure.
Is so successful. It's so successful it never had been before. So crank up the printers.
At one point, they had a massive influx of people from 40k.
Yeah, I think that was last year.
But I imagine they've all got bored with having a game that works and have drifted back to GW. So I don't know.
Funny enough, Bob has the link to the announcement in his project here, so we can actually go and look.
That's what's. Am I naive?
So this is the list of restocks that is going to come: a Game of Armored Combat box set, a Clan Invasion box set, Alpha Strike Secession Wars cards, Alpha Strike Clan Invasion cards, Total Warfare, tech manuals, battle tech manuals, Alpha Strike Commanders Edition, Strategic Operations, Interstellar Operations. What?
The camera looked very drunk there.
Yeah, it does. And a novel, and even
that's the important part, the novel
stuff. And then we got down there. This is the magazine.
And the Dreams, the sequel to Field of Dreams.
Where's the bloody?
Well, I think I'm bloody. Trying to find the Kickstarter.
Alpha Strike box set.
Question of Survival.
And then some more boxes.
Sure. So these are all things you should be able to buy already, but can't.
No, they're all. This is all announcements. This is all new
but a lot
stuff.
Of that's, not all of. I mean, the game of the Alpha Strike box set surely is just a reprint.
Yeah. Okay. The reprint. And where is it? Have we passed it?
Oh, there was an Atlas.
There's it. Mercenaries. BattleTech Mercenaries
That was it.
Kickstarter.
That was the one he said. Mercenaries. I remember. Later on this year. Be there or be a rectangular thing.
Building on the wild success of Clan Invasion Kickstarter, the new campaign from Catalyst Game Labs will bring more than 50 new plastic miniatures to your battlefield, including battle mechs, and for the first time ever, plastic combat vehicles to augment your mech forces.
For the first time ever. That's a... I'm not going to say that's a lie.
It's a far stretch. Well,
but there was clicky tech that was nothing but plastic vehicles, as far as I could see.
Yeah, but do they count for mech forces? Technically.
Do they? Yeah, fuck yeah. If you go back to Bob's, you'll see a whole line of big fuck off amounts of armored fighting vehicles.
Yeah, but those made for BattleTech were actually metal. The clicky tech ones were.
Clicky tech were plastic.
And that's I think that's where they try to differentiate themselves from.
You could quite happily use them in your games of BattleTech.
Oh, of course you could. Nobody's keeping you from doing so. So
I want to say it was called Dark Age. Something as Mech Warrior Dark Age or something. It had a weird fucking name. You're just going, oh, dirt cheap pre-paints.
I'm going to. I'm looking forward to that Kickstarter and seeing what kind of shenanigans they're having planned for that. HeroClix Mech Dark Age sounds about right.
Off the post.
Other Strike never had a box set, says Grimwolf. I think at least it was a rule book.
I'm pretty sure that was the thing John bought. It was the Alpha Strike box set.
No, that's the... John bought the ordinary starter box set, which included Alpha Strike rules.
Oh, is that what it was? Okay.
Yeah, it's the same box that's sitting behind me. So
for an outrageous price.
Yeah, this is... just before it was back on stock, if I remember correctly.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You won the eBay bid, and the next day, I want to say, they announced that they were going to restock it again. It's hilarious.
Some people just have all the luck. So what's next then?
Saga?
Is it?
Yes.
The Saga of Subaru. That's text. Oh, and there's miniatures.
Yes, both of these things.
More text.
And miniatures. The other white meat. You too can read through that.
Does that taste like chicken?
Just watching Pep's reaction. Fuck him. Doesn't taste like chicken. Oh, I thought so.
I love the fact that he had to take the picture this way just because of one guy having a very long rod.
What he could have done there was split that picture into two, and then just include the pike side by side. Picture in picture, if you will. Interesting little point in there, by the way. He points out a company called Serious Play. Now, I think you've seen them on Amazon. I bought loads of stuff from Serious Play from their Fleabase store. Some of it looks very nice. Some of it, when it arrives, looks very shit. You pays your money, you takes your chances. Just saying.
So I'm guessing
FYI.
they're very cheap?
Yes. Compared to some of the other ones. I mean, some of them are grand. There's like 4 stacks of them just there behind the spooked looking cat. You can't see that because there's a spooky looking cat, but you know, they're there.
We know how it looks like from The Weekender.
No, just think back. Think back to that. Think back to the time when
use your imagination.
Imagination. But
Magic.
Anyway,
and the Saruman.
This has been just filling up with. I quite like the fact that it's so text and background heavy, because obviously he's using the Symbaroum world from the RPG to develop his Age of Magic force. It's also quite funky. He's gone with purple and yellow.
What I always find very interesting, and I'm a bit envious about, that people can really dive in head over heels in any game and remember everything that's in the books and in lore description text, and I'm barely keeping the rules in my head.
You know, stories are easier to remember than rules.
Or maybe,
It's one of those things.
maybe then the games I play are just bad at telling story.
Well,
Which I
that
wouldn't,
makes sense.
I wouldn't put very far, because games I enjoy include and are not limited to
Yes.
BattleTech,
Yes.
Star Wars Legion, and Fallout. So,
do any of them actually? Well, obviously, BattleTech had a fuckload of background in their rulebooks. Don't know if they still do.
oh yeah,
But Star Wars Legion has practically nothing.
zero.
So
It's rule books.
it's just
Point.
rulebooks, and the other thing you mentioned is the same, isn't it? I can't remember what the other thing was. Fallout. There you go. Yeah.
They both basically just
Yeah.
work on.
They expect you to know what the fuck you're looking at.
Yeah, exactly.
It's interesting that when they've got such a big IP with such a well-developed background, that they don't include any of that background. It's just like, you know what this is. Because even fucking historical war games well, actually, that's not true. DBX, L'Arc de la Guerre, and stuff like that don't. You just get pages of tables. So I suppose it's one of those things.
So the thing is, games like Star Wars Legion include characters that are not from the movies, but in the universe, like the Clone Wars animated series, or
Not the good one.
or the other ones. So if you only know the movies, you're missing half the story. Simple as that. And the only fluff you get on Legion is basically the text on the card, and that's mostly 2 or 3 lines. So
3-1.
and yes,
It's only a matter of time. Disney gives no free rides. That is true.
yeah, the first shot is free, and the next one is paid in blood and limbs. And they don't care if it's your blood and limbs or anybody else's.
The Mouse King.
Speaking of, do we have another project in the pipeline? I think so. We have still 1 or 2.
There's a couple left. There's one in here. Just for soap.
Well, rise here.
Yes. Infinity Defiance, Stargrave, and potentially even some games of Infinity. These Corvus Belli models are being repurposed for a myriad of other worlds. In this case, we're going to get some O12. So these are tests. Like soap, look, Infinity people. Oh, I found you probably won't like these, but I found a company doing bases the other day. And I'm looking at them going, you know what, I might fucking order those. They're like clear acrylic bases, but with like the Infinity hex patterns and stuff laser engraved into them, but they do them in a variety of flavors, from just clear to clear colorless, to neon or orange, greens, blues, smoke, that sort of thing. I'm going, that'd be really nice. I could just go ahead and just put my fucking Infinity models on those. Then that would mean painting them.
I think those bases you want to paint them before you attach them to paint.
For the
base.
Bases, they were actually relatively cheap. Now this will require my keen powers of observation, if I can remember the fucking name of the company. Laser something.
We've got a Banshee on the line.
Laser Forge, yes. Then we play the... No. If I was looking for bases, where would I find them? Paints, brushes, basing, and scenics. No, they're just tufts Fuck you. Hey, back to your goddamn main page. What the fuck is that? Oh. Anyway. Da 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 da. Laser cut products. Oh, why does it keep moving away from me? You know what this is? This is some shit like what I'd expect from those fucks.
Lesson?
Lesson indeed. Hex Pattern Bases. They come in a variety of flavors: 25, 30, 32, 40, 50, and 55 mil. Click on the first one that has all the shapes on them, and then you can also get your color selection. So I think in there it shows you a whole host of Infinity models slapped on top of them, but you also get like a panel at the very end. La 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 la. Yeah, there you go. That's that. That's the same people, is it? Looks, yeah, same people, but they have a Fleabay store as well. If I know they had a Fleabay store, it wouldn't require me to chase it around their own fucking website, where links slowly creep up the screen as I move my cursor towards them. What's that all about?
Yeah, that's horrible web design.
It's very peculiar. But anyway, yeah, so just FYI. How much did they cost? They were very reasonable, I seem to remember. Yeah, £2 for 5. I've seen worse.
You know what would look awesome with these? If you had a playing table, a gaming mat with LEDs beneath it, just shining up to them, giving it a radiant glow.
Not gonna happen.
That would be nice. Heresy, clear plastic pish, says Irish Steve.
Yeah, well, you know, he would say that.
Of course, he needs people to buy his very reasonably priced plinths.
Plinths everywhere.
Could you imagine a game where plinths would be mandatory for miniatures?
Isn't that chess?
I think that's about it, yeah.
3-2. This is a cheeky little game.
Well, they're still not done kicking around the airfield little bubble thing? Or...
No, they're not. Just go into him. Remember, you can injure as many Man City players as you want. It's okay to do that.
So what's the next and final project for today, then?
The next and/or final project discuss is Denson. Because it's been ages since we've seen him last.
Horrible stuff. He has strayed.
He strayed a long time ago. He strayed like a stray thing. Oh, referee, send him off. Send him off for dissent.
Why? Why do
Actually,
3D printing?
Just go ahead and kick him because it's Phil Foden. You're allowed to kick him, you're a referee. Nobody can touch you. Yes, 3D printing. Maybe he did the same as me and found some fucker selling them for like £2 because they were fucked on the interwebs. You go, oh, just I can fix these up.
Have you fixed them up by now?
No, fuck no. I put foam in them. At some point I fixed them up. Still, after I fix them up, then I'll get round to actually having to paint my own tiny fighting men to play Star Wars with. But since I haven't got anything assembled yet, there's no really a rush on that. I do like Theed. Theed looks good. It's a good look, Theed.
And a lot of clear plastic bases. For some odd reason,
no hexagons on them.
For some odd reasons, clear plastic bases have been with Star Wars Legion from day one. People were really anxious to get those bases instead of the originals.
I think they were after anything. If you would have given somebody slices of frozen dog shit that was thinner than those fucking bases, and I used the term quite wrongly, I would have used them, to be fair. Got to keep my stuff in the freezer and only play with them half an hour at a time.
Or in the Antarctic.
Yeah, that's fine. It means I don't have to use those fucking enormous bases.
Yeah, I'm still...
You need to use them for the tools. No, you fucking don't.
I still wonder why they chose them to make them that big. They could have gone with a bit a bit smaller.
I've no idea. 3-3. Ah, hilarious.
And also they could have chosen to make it a straight line for the measuring tool and not on an angle.
not,
but
actually.
then again,
No.
it's the green little frog with the lights on.
My little green friend.
I mean, I get why you would be so lazy to use a 3D printer for these, but these lines, it's horrible.
That just comes down to people not, wanting to finish them off.
It's
the same as people buying foreground buildings and then just putting them together and not finishing them.
What do you mean by finishing?
Foreground buildings are just pre-primed. There's no detail or weathering on them. They're all flat colours. So, yes, you can just stick them together and play with them. They're not finished. It's just the same as leaving your lines in your 3D prints. People will do anything for speed.
It's not finished?
No, they're not finished.
You mean I need to paint these even more?
Fuck yes. I can see massive burnt edges from here that aren't the same colour as the rest of the panels, right off the bat.
Yeah, but they smell great.
Pride. Oh, I'm sure they do. Clean those up, prime them, finish painting them.
You're very harsh today on me.
I'm not very harsh. You're very harsh on, stripy buildings.
No, I'm being a cunt. That's a completely different beast.
Outrageous. Outrageous.
Yeah.
You know why? There comes a time in every man's lifetime where they learn that they'll never play the Dane. Just saying.
Yeah, what?
They'll never play the Dane.
Doesn't ring a bell.
Oh, you need to watch Withnail now. Why have you never watched Withnail now? Then you need to watch the documentary about Withnail now, which is a whole other fucking madness. Especially when you discover that it's based on a real person.
Oh, those always tend to scare me.
We demand the finest of wine and cake. Second cake reference of the show. 3 more and we've enough for a cake crusade.
1 more.
Yes.
2 plus 1. No,
2. No,
just
that too.
come to Tim's house and sniff his buildings.
That's why he's got his strappings behind him there.
It's
probably best not to.
You're free to visit and to come inside. I'm not saying anything about free to leave.
He's gone full Fritzel. Austrian world champion at hide and seek. For what, 21 years?
Oh, God, yeah.
It's a hell of a fucking record. Yeah, Scrib, you will.
How not to be seen.
Yeah, it's like that. Step 1, daughter in basement.
Would you please stand up? Yes.
Good times.
Those were simpler times.
Oh, yeah, very much so. You can't quote Monty Python these days. Johnny Depp's learned that.
What, did he quote it in his jury trial?
No, in some text messages about whether or not he should blow her up. To be fair, nothing that comes out in that trial surprises me anymore after the Amber Heard shit in his bed as revenge thing. Just the idea of fucking Aquaman's bird squatting over the top of the sheets and pinching one off as a prank.
There was a movie in the 80s with what's his face? Kurt Russell, I think. War of the Roses. Which was basically a rich couple getting divorced and making each other's lives as miserable as possible.
Don't think I've seen it.
Oh, that's one for the ladies. It's getting really ugly. They do anything but kill each other.
Michael Douglas and Kathleen Turner.
Yes, that's the one.
That makes slightly more sense.
Yeah. I
watched Romancing the Stone and the sequel, and then went, I don't really think this is for me.
Yeah, War of the Roses that's Very funny.
Oh, well, that's good. So it's a bit like Death Becomes Her.
Oh, I didn't
without the
remember that
CGI.
they die at the end.
You know, John dies at the end. Oh, that's a good film.
Yes,
John
Danny
dies at the
DeVito
end.
was the lawyer in the movie for both of them.
That makes sense. Danny DeVito's in all of their films. Some sort of weird triptych that they formed together. Danny, Kathleen, and Michael.
They just had too much fun after making movies by
After
drinking.
doing the Stones. Yeah, well, fair enough.
I just remembered a movie I can't remember the name from. A very young dude with a very old lady having an affair, and she's being very morbid and having a very dark sense of humor, and drives around in a what's it called, the cars where you drive the caskets into the
Hearse.
Yes, hearse.
See, the minute you go young,
Laurel and Maud,
oh,
or something
sure.
along those lines. Oh, it's a
Could be, because I automatically think The Graduate whenever you go.
no, it's not
Young
Mrs.
guy,
Robinson.
old woman.
That's that movie is a bit later than Mrs. Robinson.
Ah, right. Like Harold and
Harold and Maude, yes. Orinoco Witch has it.
Mm.
And Driving Miss Daisy is something completely different, and we are not going to get into that tonight.
Yep.
So our tightly scripted 30 minutes, very nicely done. Thank you, Jody, for indulging us with your presence.
Always a delight.
And you lazy kids still haven't figured out when it's his 100th birthday. I almost said 100th episode.
Yep.
I think
we
I
know
need to recalculate that as well.
Yeah.
At some point.
Yeah, because you were away for a week and then I was off for a week.
Yeah.
You need to add 2 to it.
Well, technically it didn't really have any show, so math.
Need to add 1 to it. You were here last week because I got home.
Yeah, but
eventually.
the week before, 2 weeks before when I was sick, I wasn't here.
Oh, there you go. So just add 1 to it, not 2.
Yes, that will be it.
Wow.
So then, everybody, have a good night. See you next week, and stay safe. Remain indoors. Bye.
Tatty, bye.